Hello, Erica here, and I am here today with my vacation book haul. I just spent a week in Asheville, North Carolina, which is a very, very cool place if you ever get a chance to go visit. And I make it a rule when I go on a trip to visit any nearby local independent bookshops. Asheville has quite a few of them, especially in the downtown area, and they're all really cool. So I did quite a bit of book shopping. Yeah, a lot. But it was fun. My boyfriend was very interested in the microbreweries that Asheville has, which they have a ton of. And so he went off and did that, and I went off and bought books, and everyone was happy. So on the first day, I went to Malaprops, which is a very cool local independent bookstore and cafe. They do a lot of author events, and I bought some things. The first thing I got was Shirley Jackson's We've Always Lived in the Castle. I have not read anything by Shirley Jackson. I think that's a terrible shame, and I really need to get to her, so I got the Penguin Deluxe edition of this, which I've been eyeing for a while anyway, and it's quite stunning, very cool art on this, and then of course it has duck-billed edges, and the French flaps look like so. There we go, and this is quite a short book. I'm not entirely sure about what it's about, but I think I'm going to love it, and I'm sure I'll get to it soon. While I was on vacation, I finished reading Amanda Palmer's book, The Art of Asking, and so she's married to Neil Gaiman. He's referenced quite a bit in the book, and so I was feeling a little Neil Gaiman-y, and so I picked up Stardust, which I have not read of his yet. I believe that this is middle grades or young adult, and it's a fantasy story. It's supposed to be really sweet, I believe. I've heard great things about it, and I'm excited to get into it. Again, I don't think this will take me too long to get through, and I think it'll be a really fun read. I also bought Hold Your Own by Kate Tempest. This is a poetry collection that I've seen a few people here on BookTube read and really adore. It's based on the myth of Tiresias, and she kind of weaves those mythological themes into her own experience, I believe. I have not read this yet, but I'm looking forward to getting to it very soon. I think that this cover design is absolutely stunning. Sorry, I have books falling all around me. Okay. So yeah, can't wait to read this. I also bought Serafina and the Black Cloak by Robert Beatty. This is a very recent release. This is a middle grades kind of mystery / fantasy story, and this is actually set in Asheville, North Carolina at the Biltmore Estate, and we went and visited the Biltmore Estate the day after I read this. I read this all in one sitting. I have already read it. It was really fun. So that was really an awesome experience to read this and then go to the Biltmore where it was set the next day. Of course, this is set in the early, I believe it's set in like 1899, which is about 5 years after Biltmore actually opened. So not really the same experience that I had at Biltmore, but you know. Also very cool, since I bought this in Asheville, I was able to nab a signed edition. So that's exciting. And this is a really nice cover. And underneath the dust jacket, it looks like so. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I highly recommend this if you're into middle grades, especially middle grades fantasy. It was really fun. Then I did my usual thing of picking up a book that I had not heard of before off of the staff recommends table, and I got Sea Change by S.M. Wheeler. This particular bookstore had a different shelf for each member of the staff with all their recommendations, and the staff member in particular had recommended a lot of books that I've already read and loved. And then I read the blurb on this, and it sounds really great. It's kind of magical realism. There is a kraken in it, through whom the protagonist learns friendship, loyalty, and family. I don't know. I think it's going to be really fun. I love the cover, and I don't think I've heard anyone talk about it on BookTube, so I'm excited to see how this goes. Next, I went to Downtown News and Books, which is a used bookstore in Asheville, and it's the sister store of Malaprops, but they do all used books, while Malaprops has all new books. And I picked up 4 good books there, and I got these all together for less than $20, so I'm pretty excited about that. The first thing I got is A Piece of Mind by J. California Cooper. I have been looking for Cooper's work in bookstores everywhere for a long time. She's really hard to find in bookstores, which is quite a shame. This is her first collection of short stories. I have already read this. It's quite a short collection. It was absolutely magnificent. I will do a review on it when I do my next short stories reviews video. And I'm totally ready to start looking into more of her work. Then I got a Hemingway collection. This is The Snows of Kilimanjaro and Other Stories. I do not own this one, but I do own the rest of his novels that I own are in these Scribner editions, which I like, and this is in literally perfect shape. It cost me $5. And so I'm excited to read some Hemingway. It's been a little while, and I need to carry on with his body of work. Then I also found In Perfect Condition, Among Others, by Joe Walton, which I've heard a lot of people talk about, and I believe that this is kind of magical realism fantasy, and the protagonist can do magic? Can she do magic? Her mom can do magic. I'm not sure, but there's also like a lot of reference to classic sci-fi and fantasy books in here, and I've just heard really lovely things about this, so I'm sure I will love it. And lastly, I picked up Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. Again, this cost me $6, and is in outstanding condition. I, again, don't know that much about this, but Winterson is an author I have been meaning to get to for ages. I've heard that this is a good place to start with her. This is quite short. Again, I picked up a lot of short books, not intentionally, but that's how it worked out. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what she's all about. Then I did something really dangerous, which I haven't done before, and that is that I went into a locally owned, used antique and rare bookshop, which I don't have one around me. I've never been in an antique or rare bookshop before, and it was amazing. I mean, I spent hours in there. I actually made 2 trips, so these hauls are from these are all the books from 2 separate trips, because I made one trip, loved it so much, and then I went back, and it's owned by this adorable couple who's owned it since it opened in 1975, and they are absolutely fabulous, and they let me, like, put my hands on anything I wanted to touch, including, like, first edition Hemingways and things that blew my mind. But I did pick up quite a few collectible old books here. I am not an expert by any means on rare books, so don't take my word for any of this. I have done a little bit of research on all of the ones that I bought on the internet, so I know a little bit, but again, the internet's not an excellent place for that either. So, I mean, I'm not looking to sell these or anything, but if I ever did want to learn more about them, I guess I'd have to take them to an appraiser. The first thing I got, and these plastic sleeves are just protective. These are not, it's not like it has a library sleeve on it, so I'll actually take that off, which you might be able to see better. So this is a very old edition of Ernest Hemingway's The Fifth Column and the First 49 Stories. The Fifth Column is the only play that Hemingway published, and this is a 1938 printing, which was the year it was released. I believe that this is not a first edition. I believe that it is a second edition, though. And it's really stunning. It's so old. I love old books. The pages are really yellowed, but otherwise it's in quite good condition. Like, none of the pages are falling out. The spine's in really good shape. And I just thought that this had to be part of my collection because I am a huge Hemingway fan. So this is very exciting to have. Next, I got a really gorgeous 1924 edition of Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. Again, nothing like terribly exciting about this. This isn't, super old or anything. This is the Eleanor Marx Aveling translation. Funny story, she is the daughter, I believe, maybe the niece, of Karl Marx. And again, it's just a really nice book. Like, the title page is very pretty, and the front is very pretty. And this is, again, one of my favorite books of all time. And so I'm very excited to have this in my possession. This is the only one that I may actually take to an appraiser because I do believe that this might be a first edition. It may be the second printing of the first edition, but I'm pretty sure it's a first edition. Again, though, I'm not an expert, and the internet isn't a reliable place. This is a 1905 edition of The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. I have not read this yet, but I love Wharton, and when I saw this and saw that it was published in 1905, I was very excited. So this was published in 1905. It has, gorgeous illustrations, the vellum overlay. It was published by Scribner. And again, the spine is in really great shape. Even the gilded pages here on the top are in great shape. They're very worn. Pages are very worn otherwise, but I am so thrilled to have this as well. So I might do some more research on this and figure it out. But like I said, I'm not interested in selling these or anything. I just like that they're going to be so pretty on my shelves. The two newest books that I got there were actually 1981 editions of Charles Dickens. These are 1981 Folio Society editions. This bookstore had so many used Folio Society editions, I almost peed my pants. I was so excited. And I wanted to buy all of them, but they're still, even though they're used, a few of them were older Folio Society, some of them were new, and they were gorgeous, but they were still $30 to $40 a piece, so I could not buy all of them. But I did pick up these two Charles Dickens, and that is what they look like on the outside. They're just very simple, so you can tell these are not the newer contemporary Folio Society editions, because those have gorgeous illustrations and things on the front. But this is Little Dorrit, and this is actually 1986, so this is the 1986 Folio edition of Little Dorrit. And it does have it is illustrated by Charles Keeping, and I'm very excited to have this. This, as well as the other one I got, are editions that are not available in the Penguin Clothbound, which is what I've been collecting Dickens work in, but maybe they will be someday. But either way, I thought these were really gorgeous. So I have Little Dorrit, and then I also got the Pickwick Papers, and as you can see, they look very nice together. So the Pickwick Papers, we'll take out, is yellow on the front, not green. And this one is from 1981. And again, it's illustrated, just in black and white, not color. Again, by Charles Keeping. And I'm very excited to have these, and I will have to read them soon now. These are two of Dickens' works that I have not read yet. Really, really excited about the Pickwick Papers, because I think I'm going to love it. Lastly, I have two books that I am totally excited to have. The first one is an edition of Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. This is the first ever edition published by Modern Library, who are a publisher that I still love today. This was published in 1928. It is absolutely adorable. They're in the end papers. It's just blue, leather bound. It's very tiny, quite petite. But I'm really excited to have it. I love Woolf. I love this book. So that's very, very exciting. This one I'm also very excited about, because I do believe that this is a first American edition of A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. And again, it may be a subsequent printing, but I'm pretty sure it's the first edition. It's hard to tell from what I've read, because the publishers, Harcourt, Brace and Company, didn't signify their first editions in any way until after 1931, and this was published in 1929, which is the year that this essay was originally published. Nothing too fancy about this. Again, it's just very nice, leather-bound, navy blue, and I am thrilled about it. Okay, back to new books. Done with the old books. This is the longest book haul ever. So, yesterday, I just got home from vacation today. Yesterday, Dane decided that he was going to go do a brewery tour, and I had my fill of Asheville, so I went back to Malprops and was planning on just getting a coffee and browsing, and then I bought a bunch of shit. Not shit, great stuff, but I bought a bunch more books. So I picked up The Martian by Andy Weir. We actually listened to this in the car while we were on vacation, so I already have read it. I wanted to see what the paperback looked like, and I'm kind of excited to have it on my shelf in case I want to go back and read it. I will say with this book, though, that the audio was excellent. It's definitely the way to go. So I have that. I will be talking about this at some point. I wasn't as huge of a fan as most people seem to be. I also got a copy of After the Quake by Haruki Murakami, which I've already read but did not own a copy of. I'm really excited to have this. Also, I'm really nervous because has anyone else noticed that they have re-released Murakami's books Vintage has in new editions in the US, and they're really ugly in my opinion. So I kind of want to buy some more of these vintage editions before they're gone. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a little nervous about it. Then I got 77 Dream Songs by John Berryman. This was actually on sale, so I got this for $4. And one of the reasons I picked this up is because I recently hauled The Trip to Echo Spring by Olivia Lang, which is about writers and their tendencies towards alcoholism, more or less. And John Berryman is one of the 6 authors she talks about in that book, so I wanted to read something by him before I read that book. I think that this is going to be fabulous. It has really good reviews on Goodreads, And it is a collection of poetry. Did I already say that? I think I might have. I don't know. But I think this could be a very nice little read. I also scored a copy of Urgent Unheard Stories by Roxane Gay. This is the little book that she released specifically for Independent Bookstore Day, so there's not going to be subsequent printings of it as of now. All of the editions she hand-signed. I know, I follow her on Twitter, and I remember when she was signing all of these, and it was like a nightmare for her, because there were a ton. But Malaprops had some extras after Independent Bookstore Day, so they had these on sale, and I gobbled one up. I've already read this. It was fabulous. She's wonderful. You know. Lastly, I got 2 of the World Cloud Classics. I had never seen these in person before, and I've always thought that they were kind of ugly, but then when I touched them, I was really excited about them. So I got The Age of Innocence by Edith Warren. This is a book I already own. Maybe multiple copies of. One of my favorite books of all time. And I just thought that this was really nice. And again, these are like really nice to touch. I don't know. There's like some rubbery goodness going on here. On the back, they have a quote from the book, as well as, of course, all over the front. And then they have really nice end papers. So yes, I have that. And the last book, I promise, I know, this is the longest book haul. I really need to film something other than a book haul soon, and I will. I will. The other World Cloud Classic I got is the poetry of Emily Dickinson. I really like Emily Dickinson. I have a few of her. Ooh, I'm ripping off a sticker on film. That's a bad idea. I need to stop. Okay, I have a few collections by her here and there, and I've read a few of hers, but I really like this edition, and I'm excited to read more from her. So I picked that up. I think that's it. That's it. Oh, no. I lied. I have one more I forgot about. This I picked up in the rare and used bookstore. It was my cheapest purchase in that shop, believe it or not. And this is a Persephone. And I don't own any Persephones, but I saw this on the shelf. It was $10, which is quite cheap for Persephone, especially once you consider that I would have to order them and get them shipped to the US. And it is in perfect condition. It even had the bookmark with it, which is amazing. And I know sometimes when you order them from Book Depository, they don't even have the bookmark in them. And so I'm just really excited to have this. This is Manja by Anya Maynor. I don't know how to pronounce that. There you are. It's quite long. And she was an Austrian author. And I believe this is a family type story. And I think it's going to be lovely. So I was really excited to find this for $10. And then I scoured the shelves to see if there were any more Persephones anywhere. There weren't, because I was going to buy them all. Alright, that is it for real. I'm done. I have to go read things now. If you want to talk about any of these books, or tell me how much you liked or didn't like any of these books, you can feel free to do so in the comments. I will be back soon with actual reviews and videos of substance instead of me holding up a book and being like, I bought this book, it's pretty, I don't know what it's about. Thanks for watching, bye!